Tell me some over there.
Take that.
No, we ain't taking shit. Close that. Hey, that's where you got that from.
Hey, listen,
Diddy.
I was gonna say.
Diddy got the.
Hey,
Diddy got
listen, he was
the.
saying, take that.
Anybody want to introduce us, or you want me to take it? Or?
Shoot.
Who always sparking
What's
up?
good? What's good? Welcome back to the fold, man. You got your boy Millie here. You already know the hashtag, Millie_not1 on Instagram. Definitely follow us.
Ooh, you gonna come out like that? The
telling,
fold. I
I'm
like
telling.
that.
Yeah, man,
But
your
you got to
boy.
tell them the mean about how this shit you gonna spark it off like that.
Ooh, wee. He said go into the concept.
Go ahead to the concept. Tell them what you
came
mean.
up
Well, look. Well, let's introduce everybody. Then.
Okay.
We'll go
I'll let
back
you go.
and
Yeah, go
introduce
ahead.
them.
Yeah,
Break
man,
it
it's your
down.
boy Khalid Salam, man, back with another one, around some great guys and in a great place, man. So I'll let the brother who owns this place tell y'all where we at right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's
money,
Big
big money.
Kurt, a.k.a. CG. You know me. Down at the PG at 1475 North High Street. That's Columbus, Ohio. 43201. Once again, that's 1475. We down at Pier Green High Street. We should be going live or something like that. We got some good stuff for them tonight.
For sure.
Oh, we forgot the big dog down there. The OG
Big dog,
himself.
big
What's up,
dog.
man? It's your
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
Party Artie, man. This year, humble citizen, black man. Happy Juneteenth.
Come
of
on
course,
with
it's
it.
always a great day to be black.
Yes.
So we just here today, man. Just come up with another episode, trying to push this content as much as we can, being consistent, making sure that we come together and build this foundation of brotherhood one day at a time.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
So, Miller, we're going to run it back to you, man. Tell them the concept, man. I think you was the one that, you were brainstorming on a name. We had a couple cool names. I know we
Definitely.
The Mature Man was one.
Solid.
I know Art. What you come up with? Art, you had a good one too.
I don't remember.
You don't remember.
He said Art don't remember.
All I know is what it's called now. That's all I know.
The Fold.
The fold.
Okay,
So
talk about it.
let's register that. The fold with a 4, not a F. And it's about 4 men with 4 journeys. One relentless pursuit of growth. We all came together. First podcast. It was a spark. From the jump. So I can't even deny that. But the fold brings together 4 powerful voices, each from different walks of life, cultures, and experience, united by sharing the mission. To grow stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled in a world that constantly tests the limits of the masculinity, faith, love, and perseverance. So I feel that we all got something to bring to the table. Each one teach one, iron sharpen iron. So that's what y'all getting today.
Yeah.
Well said, brother.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to check in with everybody, man. How everybody week been going? It's been a week since we did the last podcast, and man, it's a lot been going on, man. With it being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, I can't get my words out, but hey, everybody, I just want to check in with everybody and see how we all doing.
Yeah, man. I've been I guess I'll take it first. You know what I'm saying? Everything in my life been pretty smooth sailing lately, other than little work issues here and there. But man, I think since the last podcast that we did, bro, I've reflected a lot on what everybody was saying. Taking what I can and trying to apply it to my life. So hopefully, for those at home watching, hopefully they'll be able to do the same.
What you got, Party Artie?
If I had to say from a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give myself about an 8 right now.
Okay.
Until the last time we met. Work life is work life. That is what it is. Trying to build that balance. I'm still to this day work-life balance, man. Trying to figure that out. But like I said last podcast, man, I'm on that path to greatness, man. I'm trying to identify what that looks like when it comes to the sacrifice of time and sacrifice with my significant other and my loved ones. So that's still a battle. But to this day, though, I feel great mentally. I feel great spiritually, man. Hope this weather and the sunshine probably make it a little bit better. Coming up this next coming week, man. So can't complain, man. Life is good right now.
Solid.
What's up, Billy?
My week, man, is definitely been busy, but in a productive way. So I'm forever thankful for that. I just say rest. That's all I've been hearing lately. Get some rest. So that's my plan next week before my daughter's birthday. But other than that, the project going good. Business, going good. So I just gotta be thankful for my source. Providing me the resources. So
For sure.
Sure, I'll take it over there. I guess I'm the last one to go.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
I mean, the last episode when we first got it out, I just started using this machine called the ExoMind. But before that, I had like this big heavy weight on me, man. I don't know where it came from. It felt like my days were dark, even though I was winning, man. It was just something I couldn't. I felt complacent. I felt like I hadn't been progressing the way I should. I feel like I've been in motion, but no progress. I feel like I've just been in the middle, on the treadmill. Yeah, I feel like I was on the treadmill, man. And, as an ex-athlete, man, we go through this. We beat ourselves up so bad because we never know when we're winning, because every day you have to be progressing or you're not winning. Yeah. We don't understand the slow motion of things. So I can say, man, after I started watching a lot of mental health videos, man. It just came out of nowhere, and I just been working on my mental health, man. Just working on my anxiety, working on sleeping better at night, being not quick to anger. Definitely took the ExoMind machine, man. If y'all ever get a chance, I got to go check that thing out. But you just got to be ready for what comes after. Yeah, the pros and cons that comes after that thing, man. I was down bad for about a week, man. Really emotional, man. Didn't know I had a lot of stuff suppressed. Yeah. But had some stuff going on these last couple of days that allowed me to cry with my brother. My circle, let me be vulnerable enough to talk and get it out, man. And I'm starting to feel better, man. Can't complain, man. I'm starting to feel better.
I got a question for you on that.
What's up?
How do you gauge? Because you said you felt like you weren't progressing. How do you gauge your progression? Like, is there certain goals that you're trying to check off of your list? Because I think as men, that's something that we probably struggle with often. Feeling like you're not progressing or you're not hitting those marks. So for the people, how do you gauge?
So with me becoming a celebrity at the age of 15, 16, the ultimate goal was to make it to the NFL, right? But the things that I had to go through to get to the NFL, you don't have time to really sit there and think about what's actually going on. So a lot of stuff you just zooming past and you're not even recognizing it until either one, it's a trauma or it's a progression. Like, oh, I won that. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you can't gauge it off of, you can't really gauge it off of like, you can set monetary goals, but it's really more so about what you put into yourself is what I'm learning. Because if we want more money or we want better love or this, you have to put the work in with yourself first to be able to attract that. And so I want all this money, I want all these businesses, I want my wife to be happy, but are you putting in the time to actually get that progress that you're looking for? And you can't have that goal of, I'm gonna make it to the NFL today. Bro, you're 6 years old. You got to enjoy that moment. You know what I'm saying? That's a great goal to have, but you have to worry about this game week to week to week. So, prime example, all of us want more money, but what are we doing in our spare time to make ourselves more noticeable than the next person? So, as I spoke about before we get into the show, I always ask, can you see me?
See me.
Can you see me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting down. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just give a little story. I'm sitting down. I went. My boy Chase. He coaches at Elyria Catholic. Shout out to Chase Ferris. He's down 707. I got a chance to meet Matt Patricia. What you guys might not know, Matt Patricia was the D coordinator with Tom Brady, Bill Belichick when they was winning all those Super Bowls. So this man has a.
You're at Ohio State now, ain't he?
He's at Ohio State as the D coordinator.
Okay.
So this man he doesn't know me from anybody, bro. Is one of the coolest coaches I've ever met, genuine coaches I've ever met. And one of the coaches said, hey, you want to meet our new D coordinator? I said, yeah, sure, take me over there. Matty P embraced me, brought me in, talked to me like I was still playing. Mm-hmm. So at that point, I'm like, dang, man, okay, this man got a good aura. Most coaches is just like assholes, for real. I'm macho. Somebody of his caliber, we talking about 5, 6 Super Bowls. Like this man, what we talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a lot. So he like, man, he was like, a lot of times in life, we do stuff for other people for us to be seen, and we have these expectations for us to see, for them to see us, but in reality, they're not going to see us anyway, because all they're going to do is move the bar and just basically tell you you're not enough, something along those lines. So you have to be, so what I got from that was, you have to be strong enough within self to to set your expectations for you, and be able to set your expectations for you. So when it's time for somebody to validate you, you know that work that you have put in, this is like, I'm supposed to be here now.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times we go through things and we don't pay attention along the journey, and we end up circling back because we were trying to impress that individual that won't go do nothing but move the bar anyway.
Hey.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we have to be secure enough within ourselves to be able to believe we are what we say we are, and we're going to have to go after what we have to go after. No doesn't mean it's never going to happen. That just might not be, that might not be the right person. That might not be your moment, dog.
Exactly.
So when we think about that, can you see me? So now I go back to the drawing board. I want you to see me. You know what I'm saying? When I walk in that room and everybody stand up, why is that? Because my aura is speaking.
Yeah.
They know I'm confident. They know I ain't coming here to play. I come here to set the tone, so I need my respect.
Facts.
I'm not begging for it. You ain't got no choice but to give it to me by how I'm carrying myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and then putting together the strategy for what you want for life, man.
That's important.
You know what I'm saying? That's important, man. It's that type of stuff, man. So every day I wake myself up. When I wake up, I say, can you see me?
Yeah.
Can you see me being a better dad? Can you see me being a better husband? Can you see me doing better in business? But that all comes from self-worth.
From self, like self-reflecting.
Self-reflecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
I guess that'll push you to be an overachiever,
I am definitely an overachiever.
as you should be.
I am ambitious. It has nothing to do with people seeing me in that light of me being the man or for cockiness. That's not why I do what I do. Like, I came out the womb always wanting to do better. I'm harder on myself than anybody. They say, Kurt, look at you, bro. You're winning. You're winning. I said,
it
bro,
ain't
I don't
enough.
know.
Yeah.
It ain't enough. It's just not enough. And it's just because I've peaked so high at such an early age. Now I know what it looks like.
So you set those expectations
There
high.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no dumbing it down. So I
For what?
Yeah.
It's out here for us to get.
Yeah, for real.
What we dumbing it down for?
Ain't no reason.
I mean, because then you think about what we talk about. We're going into survival mode at that point. What we doing that for? Mama did it. Grandmama and them did it. Why we got to live like that?
Yeah.
Or a lot of us guilty of that survival mode, though.
You know why?
It's crazy.
Because that's usually what us as a culture we're around. Because we talk about all the time. The OGs, we talk about, we got all these YNs out here, right? But what OGs do you actually see that's really out there, that's putting a foot, that's putting a dent in the pavement?
Yeah. That's real.
Only
Without manipulating you and trying to use you, and then they manipulate you, use you for what you got, dog you, break you down. Now I got trauma again.
Yeah.
And then we ain't got enough support in the black culture. Well, nah, we got support in the culture. Y'all just want to idolize the wrong people.
Yeah. It's crazy that you say that, because, like, you know, with me and Millie, we were doing like these men's meetings, and one of like maybe like the first or second meeting we did, one of the things that I said was, like, we are the new OGs, you know, and like some people, they don't want to embrace that title because they think it's like it's set alone for when you get old, but the reality of it is, for people in our position who are thinking the way that we think and are achieving the things that we're achieving, it is a responsibility of ours, in my opinion, to get that game back. You know, especially when we could see there was or is an absence of OGs for us. You know, but it's just crazy that you say that, bro, because, you know, we was on the phone the other day just talking about it's like dudes in a particular age range, it's like I don't know, it's like they just start hating on people in our age range, you know, especially when we are, you know, trying to achieve and do things. And I just wonder why, bro. You know what I'm
The
saying?
reason why is because, you know, the little saying, you've been a wannabe. People, they want to be you now. They like he said, you in that light for a moment, then once your light dim, and you see somebody else getting that light, resentment come, animosity, and that's what they be dealing with. They be looking at, oh, they got the women now. Oh, these little punks, they don't know nothing, you know? They
Yeah.
want to look down on you and frown at, like you ain't knowledgeable, you don't understand the concept of the game or whatever lane you in life. So basically, that's what a lot of young people deal with. Then it's just the thing that how we shine light, though. You know, not us personally, but the young dudes, some of them act arrogant.
True.
You know, they act out, you know, ignorant and stuff like that. So they look at that too and they misjudge everybody else that's in that type of age bracket just simply off that. So, in my opinion.
Yeah, not true.
So I got a few comments.
Yo, talk to me. You've been quiet down there.
I'm letting y'all breathe
Hey,
through y'all's thing,
yeah, go ahead.
and I just chime in when it's time for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
But two things. Going back to, can you see me?
Yeah,
My thing is prior to that is, can I see me?
yeah,
Because you can be doing for so many people, like
Yeah.
are you put in the chat, just like I'm doing all these things for all these people, and I still feel underappreciated. And they kind of see it as, well, you're supposed to be doing that as a father. You're supposed to be doing that as a man. But in my mind is, you know what I had to do in order to finish this stuff for y'all?
yeah.
So it's like I'm doing all these things for you, but I'm not taking the time to pause and look in the mirror and say, can I see me? Because one of the toughest things as a man, at least for me to do, is to look myself in the mirror eye to eye and identify what I'm looking at. And then after that, after about 5 seconds, you start hearing that voice in the back of your head saying all these negative things first. Like whenever you look in the mirror, it's like it's always something bad. Every single time, instead of something positive. So I'm trying to work on if I can change my thinking from what do I see versus how does God see me. So if I can take that vernacular and put it in my head and say this is how God sees me, and then put that in myself, now I can see me now. Now I'm not worried about if you can see me because I can. So that's my answer to that. And then secondly, when it comes to the OGs and YNs, whatever, that's just the old lion, young lion syndrome.
Yeah.
So when a young lion comes into the prize, I'm about to be the king now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that. But the thing is, with these old heads, they're not coming to us to talk to us. We always got to approach them and get the wisdom. So you're going to sit on their ass until they old and gray, until someone goes to the house and knock on the door and see what's up.
Right.
But I'm the bridge. We're the bridge
Yeah.
when it comes to the younger generation and the older generation. You ain't got to come and see me. I'm going to come see you.
For sure.
Because I know how hard it is to be a teenager, 20-year-old, whatever. But the backside of that is, I don't know how it is to be a 40, 50, 60-year-old man. I can only get so much information from my pops, but he's just one guy. I need different walks of life from different men, so I know how I can live that way, and then I can pass it on to the next generation.
For sure.
So if we're not that bridge, who's it going to be? So hopefully this podcast can be a part of that as well, because you have 4 different ways of life, 4 different upbringings, so hopefully someone can take from that and apply it to their lives as well.
For sure.
I wanted to. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna want to do a quick shout out to 2 OGs that's definitely holding it down with the youth, and that's Wesley Moore with Our Brothers Keepers, and then we got Rashawn Cox with Hope in Hands. So they both got programs for the youth, which employ them, teach them traits and skills like that.
Let me throw mine now. I got Operation Wisdom.
Okay.
I got a mentorship class, man. It's a Rites of Passage program for high school boys, from childhood to boyhood to manhood, to the walks of life, not just spiritually, but the natural side of man. We cutting grass, we're doing laundry.
Okay, then.
We're doing interviews. We're doing chivalry. I to go on dates with women. We're doing all this type of things.
Okay.
Throw my shit out there too.
Hey, boy, you bring back that old school love,
like
right?
that.
Hey, dog.
Hey, you gonna have the boys with the old lady and the moo-moos.
Absolutely.
Y'all got a 3-piece right there. Definitely Facebook or Instagram, each of them, man. Lock in if you got some young youth that definitely need that involvement in their life. Second, I did want to say just sacrifice. People forgot the value of sacrifice and the respect that come with it.
Yeah.
And that's what we deal with a lot. We do this and we feel unappreciated because they don't see the sacrifices that we make. And we might not announce it, but you got to understand, in order for somebody to do something, somebody else got to scratch their back. So it's like this,
Transaction.
Yeah, transaction, exactly like you said.
Deposits or withdrawals.
Exactly. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Hey, you brought up a good point though, Art, when you said, "How do I see myself?"
Yeah.
Like, where do you get the information from to see yourself? What I'm saying is,
Okay.
what does that look like to you when you look in the mirror? Because society has designed men,
Absolutely.
especially black men,
Absolutely.
because that's our culture. That's what we know. That's what we hang around. It's not people hang out with who they hang out with because of what they look like.
Facts.
Like if you go to a party, the first thing most black people do, they find a black person to make sure everything's all right.
Yes,
that's
sir.
just a nature thing. It
Absolutely.
ain't nothing nobody ever taught me. It's just like, hey, bro, this your first time here? All right, yeah, cool. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yup.
All right, so we cool, we accept it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because we see so much negative stuff on TV about black people.
Absolutely.
Women, men, how men aren't good fathers, how black men don't do this, black men don't do that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times too, we get overconsumed of what's cool instead of creating our own path. So when you look at yourself in the mirror on a daily and you wake up and you say, well, who is Art and what do you want Art to look like? So do you pray first, or is it something that you think about, or you take a little bit from society here, a little bit from the Bible here, a little bit? So what does that look like for you?
I don't take nothing. I just I have my own perspective.
Okay.
I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I'm about to be 38 next week.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel, I'm like, I used to be 15, 16, 19, 20. So it's like, I realize the years that have passed and how I look. Even though I look this way in my mind, I still feel like I'm still a little kid in some ways.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I'm married. Like, I got a house. Like, I'm doing all this type of stuff. It's I just feel like life is just going on. I'm not stopping to realize the things I've actually accomplished. So after the negativity that I see, I then realize all the things I've done. Then I start patting myself on the back. It's like, bro, you did all this stuff 90% on your own. You know, you had to learn from your own mistakes. But the thing is, you're able to learn from your mistakes and then get yourself around other people, learn from their mistakes, and then around other people to learn from their successes. So I'm able to align myself with like-minded people.
Yeah.
I'm able to be in rooms that I'm looking around like, how the hell did I get in here? First of all,
Right.
I gotta realize, like, dog, you've been putting in the work to get here.
Right.
So give yourself a chance. So I'm in those rooms with other people. I'm with people that are smarter than me. So I'm able to get all this information from all these people. I can then apply it to myself. So that's kind of I get the information. Yes, I should probably read the Bible more and be in my word and all that, but life gives me a lot more information like this so fast. I can then apply and see what works and what does not work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm gonna recommend though, fellas. I just ordered it, but it's a journal book. It's called The Successful Man.
Okay. Okay.
And basically, the concept of it is basically it puts you in a Discord with other individuals all around the world, like literally. But it's basically having you jot down your short-term goals, your long-term goals, your failures, you know, where you feel like you're coming up short, and then how you journal like what things mean to you, what your career mean to you, you know, family, and like what core values, like what do you want to enhance that into. And I say if everybody get that, because I mean it's basically an accountability type of journal for sure. And I feel like that's definitely important. Like he said, organization, like organizing things in your life, you know, helps, you know, lead to your success down the road rather than just doing things just being complacent, but you're doing a lot of things and it still ain't adding up for you. Yeah. So I definitely want to put that out.
I got a good question for you on that. You see yourself from learning from trial and error. Who has been the biggest influence on you becoming a better person or becoming the man? Like what makes you want to be a man, and what's your definition of a man?
Wow.
I hear that question.
Who wants to go first? That for me?
Anybody?
It could go anyway. I think that, man, Pit
So-
Ray products got your boy.
I'll go after you.
Go
Nigga. Go ahead,
ahead.
bro.
All right, so I think my kids were my biggest influence. You know, like I cared about what they seen. So it's a lot of things I didn't do or condone in front of them because I knew that at the end of the day they looking up to me. If they see me doing it or not doing it, it's gonna be basically what projects them in the future to do it or not do it. Like, oh, my dad didn't do that, or my dad do that. So I'm mindful of your actions. You know, like they say, you lead by example, and that's important to me. Secondly, definition of a man. That right there, I done heard that question. You know, like I done heard that question like when I was younger. You know, my kid's mom used to ask me that, and I feel that now, definition of a man is basically. Really is based on your actions. It's not really words that are justify the definition of a man. It's the actions of a man that basically help you identify the definition of a man. And it's about how you carry yourself. You know, it's basically being who you are meant to be within your household. You are supposed to lead. You know, and a lot of men, not a lot of men. Let me not downplay this, but some men fail to do that and be that in their household, in their kids' lives. You know, and I say. Family in general, because as a man, you're supposed to be a leader wherever you go, like within your friends. Even though we all individually, you know, we lead in some way or another for one another. So that's my thing, like actions versus words.
Yeah, so mine is definitely my wife, man. There's really nobody else in terms of the man who I was and who I became. We've known each other since 2015, and she sees me at below rock bottom. She sees me at the top of the top and everything in between. She knows me more than any other person in this world. I went from being an only child syndrome to being super selfish and all that. So I'm so giving. I'm a leader. I used to be a follower. All these things that she's allowed me to be as a man, allowed me to be who I am now, and I'm only going to get better because of her. So I definitely love her for her patience. I thank you for her knowing her position as a woman, knowing her purpose, as my helpmeet, as my wife, also as my best friend. So the many hats that I wear, she allows me to wear them. And when I have my time to be with her, she allows me to have that time. So she's definitely number one on that list. But in terms of the definition of a man, I always share with my kids in the mentorship class that, you know, God gave us a job, which is dominion, and that's the reign, rule, and govern for all the things of the earth, man. So I always use that, not just, you know, as a Bible definition, but everything you do in life. I just make sure that you govern everything, that you manage everything, that you keep your household, you keep the peace. You also be the provider and the peace taker. That's our job as a man, and we can only visualize that first through our fathers. So I saw my dad did his thing as a husband, but I have to realize my father's father wasn't around. My grandpa died when he was only 2 years old. So I'm kind of facing that as a man now, because I didn't really get to see what a man truly does in my household. All my dad did was work. He worked 2 jobs. He got us out the hood, got us in the suburbs, all those type of things. But I know a man does more than just work and make money. So I made those mistakes. I'm working hella jobs as a teenager and 20 years old, but I'm not getting by. But at the end of the day, bro, I don't want to talk too much. But my wife, she's the one that allowed me to be the main in front of this camera right now.
What you got?
Shout out to
honorable?
Yes, sir. Latoya Lake, baby.
All right. You got you some points, didn't I?
I'm on the scoreboard.
I'm telling you, cut the oven on preheat.
Hey, I'm gonna make sure I clip
Low and
that
slow.
one up for you.
Hey, make
that
that,
up so you
that's
send
a
that
mini
straight
clip
to
right
me.
there. Yeah.
I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What you got, Khalid?
Hey man, well first I wanted to just say I think my definition of what it is to be a man, it has changed and evolved over time, you know, because I think back to when I was young, and I think just again due to what I came up around and the influences that I had, man, being a man was just how many women you could get, how tough you were, how willing you were
Shit,
to,
that don't even matter.
you know what I'm saying, risk your life over things
telling
that, you know what I mean? So, but as I've grown, man, I think my standard of being a man really will come from Islam, you know, first and foremost. Just how it describes what a man is expected to do following God. Because as a man, you know, we always talk about being leaders, which is important. But it's also important for us to understand how to follow, you know. True. So building your relationship with God, being a follower of God, and living within His expectations of your life is important. Because every time that I've tried to live up to the standards that were placed on me, whether that's in relationships or around, you know, the people I came up in, or even family, I've always gone down the wrong path every time. So just trying to stay centered in, God's expectations and how He says to live is important. But I would also say now being a dad is a different level of motivation. I always heard men talk about being fathers, but until you experience it for yourself and you start to think about, like Millie said, your actions and what you allow your children to see, what they see in you, what they see you accomplish, it'll make you think more long term, I would say. Creating bigger and better goals for yourself and just walking that path and staying on it. So yeah, man, that's what I would say, bro.
Shit.
What about you? You know what I'm saying, CG?
Yeah, man. To be honest, man, my definition of a man is, I really don't have a definition, to be honest. I look at as a man as that alpha male that don't go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? He's a man that he's his own individual. And his genetic makeups, what I've been doing in my life is looking at my parents, right? And saying what I liked about them and what I didn't like about them. And then I started to think, because being an over-the-road truck driver, when I used to be over the road, you on that road by yourself, man, so you start thinking about a lot of stuff, dog. You like, bro.
I done made voice memos.
And you trying to figure out exactly, like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad grew up as the macho man that never really talked about anything. But then that means he suppressed a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was a cool guy, but I could tell at times he was hurting. But I didn't understand what he was going through. Who made me want to become a man was my third child, Cairo. I don't know what it is about my son's presence, about when he came out. When he came out, actually, he's the first child that I actually shedded some tears for. And I don't know, was it because the stuff I was going through, and he came out and it was like he kind of saved my life. It was him that changed my life. And then I just started doing all this research, reading articles, watching all these YouTube videos of people that I consider to be macho men, and they talking about being vulnerable and understanding who you are once again. So when we talk about, I don't really have a definition of what's being a man. Like you said, it's more of an action thing, man. It's about how do you want to look to your family? How do you want your family to look at you when you're around? How they talk about you when you're not around.
That's it. Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So these little things that like you said, you take stuff from society, what a man's supposed to be, what's in a man's nature, but who's to say what's a real man? Because everybody, just because I want to be a multi-million-dollar business owner, doing this, doing that next cat might not want to do that.
Exactly.
He might just want to live out in the country on a half acre of land, make $60,000 a year, and go out in the garden. That's his life. That's what he wants to do. That don't mean he no less than me, or he's weaker than me. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you know what I mean? So when we talk about being a man, I think, like you said, Millie, it's all about action, man. It's about what we put to it, and about being around the people that are solid people to continue to build you a strong foundation. And what you just said, what you following God, all of us are God following people, and finding that foundation that we're strong enough to be able to build the foundation, so when we do get hit, we don't have to be on the high highs and the low lows. We can be like, okay, I took a hit, boom. It dropped me from here to about here, not from here all the way down here. And so that comes to not meeting those expectations of others, but what you think is right, and putting up the boundaries for you to not let anybody take what you have in mind or what you're trying to build for yourself. And the people that don't like it, that they got to get the hell on.
I take that, and I say that you can't let nobody tell you what the definition of a man is and put that on you.
Yeah.
Like I felt that like it was a point I couldn't answer that question because
Yeah.
I know I wasn't being a man. You
Yeah.
know, my
Right.
actions didn't measure up.
Right,
You know,
right.
I was failing. And you know, it's okay to fail. We're gonna make mistakes. We gotta make those mistakes in order for us to learn.
Yes,
you know, the
yes,
opposite.
yes.
So I was like, you know, I just tell.
Go. I got some for
Oh,
you. I got some hot. I got some hot. It just
so
came to me.
lately I've been hearing, you know,
Yeah.
y'all been talking, and I've been thinking about that old project in class. You know,
Yeah.
when you're doing something, and they have you make the 2 circles for you,
Yeah.
you to compare and
Yeah,
contrast.
yeah.
And I was just thinking about, you know, reflecting on like the times you failed, and then you look at your actions now.
Mm-hmm.
As you grow older, you know, you get that understanding, you gain that wisdom
Mm-hmm.
and that knowledge and that foresight. So it's like you improve,
Mm-hmm,
but it'll be somebody that try to point out your flaws back then that don't measure up.
That's because you're not looking at you're looking at where I was
Being,
at, not where
yeah,
I'm
where
at,
I'm
man.
at, yeah.
But Art,
Yes, sir.
you said something that was powerful, and this is why we tell you to be vulnerable with your old lady. Not giving her the whole trash
No,
can
no,
today.
I know.
But
Yes,
you know,
I
just
know.
here you go, babe. This is why I act this way. Well, dang, babe. But you know, I'm just now finding out stuff 13 years later in the relationship that I didn't know. And what you said, like my wife comes from a place of peace, bro. I found a diamond. My wife ain't never yelled at me.
Shout out to
one
Kayla,
time.
man.
One time.
So
Shout out to
sis,
Kayla.
for sure.
She's never cussed me out. Nothing crazy. The most she's ever done, okay, she walks away and just leaves, and I feel like the dumbass. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, boy, she ain't getting mad. Like, I'm mad. Why you not mad? Doesn't bother her. Like, to tick my wife off, like, you really, I got some special treats for y'all, too, man. We got some coming up, cooking up for y'all, man.
All right.
Fiji,
Talk to us
man.
nice.
Talk to
They bringing it. But when you said that, when you find a woman that you really love, they have a way of opening up, getting you to really open up to realize it's okay, be safe with me.
Yes.
And not throw it back in your face. Not one time has my wife ever brought up anything that I've done. It's been me to say, hey, baby, I'm sorry for doing I'm sorry for doing X, Y, and Z back then because I didn't know.
Man.
And I say that's probably what it was. Me seeing that happen to other men is the reason why I withheld.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, I see how they get treated and how the stuff get thrown back up in their face.
Okay.
And I was like, I ain't
We got
about to
Danny
be that.
right here, man. We got a tropical breeze.
Pass it down,
Okay,
dog.
tropical
breeze,
yeah.
okay.
We got a
Get
blue
slow,
banana.
get slow.
Blue banana,
We
that's
got
what
the
I'm
blue
talking
banana.
about.
Oh, we got the coconut cherry cloud. Yeah. Oh, thank you. We got a soul kick.
Okay. All right,
So,
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate
Cheers,
it.
brothers. Cheers,
sir.
brothers.
Shout out
Sit
to
y'all
Stay
down.
green.
Yeah, always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They fold.
Fold,
Everybody
fold,
has a
fold.
fold.
Appreciate all that.
dog. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We on here. They don't never miss.
Brief intermission.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I
solid.
tell you, that coconut cherry cloud fire in it.
10 out of 10.
What you got on that tropical breeze, Art? Oh yeah, he made them just right too. That's life right there.
Shout out to my guy. What's your boy's name?
Danny.
Yeah, shout out to Danny, man. You doing your thing, big dog.
Yeah. We
Salute,
see
for sure.
you on the show. That blue banana.
That blue banana, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's different flavors right here, but when y'all come in here to Pure Green, definitely get the blue banana, man. With the hit of cinnamon, man. My boy
Yeah, I'm about to make sure you
Chris.
add that cinnamon. Now.
But get the
dash
blue
of that.
banana.
Yeah.
It's something different. It's refreshing. It's breathtaking, if I might add. You just,
Well, I'm gonna tell you that all of our products are all natural, no sugar added. This product it has sugar in it from the natural fruit.
Natural, right.
You know, the natural way. We're not sitting in here. We don't sell anything to do high spikes in insulin. Everything we have is, if it's a wake me up shot, you know, we have ginger, lemon, cayenne pepper, all the natural ingredients that you need to pretty much uplift yourself because we're living organisms. So, and our juices and stuff are cold press, cold press machine. Because a lot of people that have juices, they heat them up, and then it loses its natural nutrients.
Come on, teach us, sir. Teach
yeah,
us.
yeah. So I'm gonna tell you about the products, man. So, you know, no added sugars, no additives, no preservatives.
non-GMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegan certified. Yeah, man. So just wanted to teach y'all a little something on the.
Well, I appreciate it,
Yeah,
bro.
Appreciate that, Dr. Grant.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I ain't no nutritionist. I'm learning too. I ain't no perfectionist, but I can tell you what I've been researching, man.
That's
I've been,
That's the best thing, man. Health is wealth, man.
And then you
Taking
gotta look
care
like
of
what you
yourself.
promote, man. Since I've been on this, man, I lost 30 pounds.
Hey,
Yeah.
bro in here glowing, you hear me?
Hey, boy, I'm getting ready for my OnlyFans page, baby.
Oh shit!
I'm telling you, I got the ring light and the baby oil. I called Diddy supplier for the baby oil, man. I said, y'all can't get rid of all that baby oil. Send it on over here to the
Man,
gram.
relax.
Yes.
But you was talking about, you and your wife, man.
Yeah.
Pick back up on that.
Yeah, we're gonna go back, man. We just had a little fun intermission, man. Just joking around. But my wife comes. I don't know where she comes from, bro. I swear to this day, I've never met a person that just loves so much. I know where she gets it from, though. Her grandmother was like that. I mean, her whole family's like that. But grandma was a special person too, man. She endured a lot growing up, and some of the stories I would hear, I was like, dang, grandma did what? Grandma stuck around for what? And all that type of stuff. And I think my wife saw a lot of my her grandmother. Like, it's to the point now that since I've changed so much, being in the athletic high demand world, far as like all the aggressiveness every day, thinking like you DMX a damn Meek Mill all freak day. Hold on, wait a minute. For real, like, bro, I used to go home like that, and she'd be like, babe, I'm a woman, dog. Like, you ain't got to be so aggressive
soft with me.
I'm like, be soft. And then I grew up in a household. My parents won't softy, because my dad always had I'm the man joint. Like, but then I realized like they never were like this. They were always like this.
Yeah, man.
So they were roommates, look like to me, and it ain't nothing against my peoples. That's
how
I grew up and I saw that, and I ain't what I wanted.
Yeah.
And man, I would always say like, well, how would Cairo? I got a daughter now, and I got a son, a younger son, and I got an older boy too. But living in separate households, he not really paying attention to that. But these two that's in here every day, going to pay attention to that, and they're going to maybe be a husband or wife one day. And I want my daughter to see how a man should court her at all times, and I want my son to see how he should court a woman at all times.
Yes, sir.
So, my kids get mad at us because we always hugged up watching the movie. They want to come get in between. Now it's to the point where like, hey man, what y'all doing? Y'all ain't babies no more. Get off my wife.
Hey, that's what baby. She's like, I want a moment with that.
Yeah.
So I say that's important. Your household as a child growing up and what you see, because Babe came from a 2-parent household.
Oh, okay.
So her approach to life, love, and everything else was different than other females I dealt with. I dealt with women who had just their mom and stuff, so they acted in and such. They had more aggression about them. They wasn't as gentle. They expectations of a man were more demanding rather than
Because they didn't have that balance.
Yeah. So I seen that, and I ain't understand it. I used to tell Babe, I ain't your dad, because she's like, my dad was home. Listen, she's like, he was home at a certain time for dinner and everything like that. I was still moving around in a way that's like, oh, I'm gonna eat when I get there. She done made dinner. When she got to put it in the microwave for you. Or sometimes like, well, you ain't here, so I ain't cooking nothing. So I had to, step back, and I had to resent because I'm like, she doing it correctly. I'm moving incorrectly, so I had to correct my steps, so I can balance out with her. So I know that is important. And when you got a woman like that or a man that can't, even a man not growing up in a 2-parent household, he can still learn from, like you said, you knew that ain't how you wanted to be, what you seen with your parents, and that's what made you the man you are today. Sometimes it's taking those negatives and basically crossing them out.
Shoot, also, man, you also got to look at your family too, bro. Yeah. Hey, just because people in your family married, you can pick up on a lot. Absolutely. You get, listen, man, people don't realize, bro, you could tell how that relationship doing by looking at that woman. And I ain't talking about no happy wife, just happy life type of stuff. And you can tell a lot by looking at the man too. If Buddy always tired, he this and that, and she glowing, she ain't doing shit for that man. I'm telling you, and vice versa. I just seen people's relationships. I was like, nah, that ain't it. Like, I want my relationship to be dope. Like,
absolutely,
we kick it. We go out. Look, my wife's so cool. I invite her out on all guys night because she gonna act like the homie. She ain't gonna be like, why y'all doing this? She gonna be over there. Shots. What's up? Get some more shots. Turn up. Let's have fun. That's it. That's babe. So that's why Hey man, shit, me and
But
baby
there
locked
we go.
in. That's
See,
just
my,
like
my baby, she competitive as hell. So when we all kicking it, I'm
Yeah.
letting y'all know.
Oh, that's it?
Whatever we playing, it don't matter if it's spades, cornhole, shoot, basketball,
talking
golf,
shit too,
top
huh?
golf. She talking shit. And she came to play. Or she gonna talk shit. You like, damn, look. So just a heads up, man.
it's cool. I'm gonna see her in that 225 comp, see where she at. Hey Art, man, I know, man, I know we sent out a podcast this week. Was it Kurt Franklin? Was it the Kurt
Yeah,
Franklin?
man, it
joint,
was
man?
the Den of Kings
Den of
podcast.
Kings, Den of Kings, yeah.
I don't know if it was Kurt Franklin's house or Airbnb
Fire.
or whatever, but he just invited in, social media content creators and actors. You got DC Young Fly, DeVale Ellis, a lot of Tyler Perry shows and movies, Country Wayne, and Lou Young, and just brought them in just talk about fatherhood.
Yeah.
Father's Day has passed. Juneteenth is here, so it's talking about basically. Just the day-to-day for being a black man and a black father in the household. And it was about an hour and a half, and it's worth every second when I watched. I definitely trying to rewatch it again, just take some notes, man, and just apply that to my life and to my brothers in my circle as well. So I just kind of wrote down a few questions, guys, real simple and to the point. I know we all did watch some clips. So this is one thing that you guys took away from the video when you watched it that you can apply to your own life. So this was one thing to take out of it. Anybody can go.
There were so many, man. Like I highly suggest if you go watch that podcast because man, there was so much that they touched on, bro. I think one thing that really stood out to me was DC Young Fly talking about basically the way in which he expresses himself, making people laugh, but he's really crying, and it just got me to thinking about how many times as men, the expectation for us is, regardless of what you're going through, to still go to work, to still provide.
Still gotta perform.
Stay in our role.
And you can't, I won't say you can't, but you're not expected to express yourself in the traditional way that everybody else would. Like if you want to cry, you can't just cry. You got to put on put on that smile, still go out here and go to war and find a way, create a way to express yourself.
Yeah.
And it just got me to thinking, is that sustainable?
No.
How long can you go on operating in that manner? Is that really a productive way to express yourself? Similar to like, you hear people talk about, you got some people who say therapy doesn't work, and then you got some people who say that it does, right? And it's like I've heard people say before, being somebody who used to make music is their expression. But is that enough? Is it enough to just express yourself in your art or in your level of productivity? I don't have an answer for it, but this is some of the things I was thinking about.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say though is like he was basically saying he gotta play that role. And that's something that as men we do that on a day to day. And it made me think while you was talking, I'm like, when a man is always being, who he's supposed to be, who's expected to be, do we ever look in the mirror? And then is that where he, ponder upon things and think, without letting it out, but he's sitting there looking at himself and reflect, because we stay in a mode 24/7. We been a dad, we been a husband, we going to work, and then, like, we don't never get to be vulnerable. That's what I was like talking about that one time. Like, I see my kids see me crying, babe see me cry. I feel like they can't. Like, I gotta be a man because at the beginning of the day, that's what I am, and I kind of feel them on that. Like, it's hard to put your emotions out there on the forefront.
I'm gonna put it to you like this, bro. I done got to the point I don't give a damn what nobody think, bro. Kids, wifey,
I'm there.
people, and I'm gonna tell you why, bro. Because it's to the point now. I'm gonna just share a little bit. Like, I watched my dad do that, and he drunk himself to death, literally. You know what I'm saying? And I never understood why my dad would drink every day. You know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where he felt like, I can't really speak for Pops, but I'm kind of living like a similar life, but with a different partner. because once my football was over with, right,
Yeah.
which is where I expressed myself, I ain't had to talk because I could literally go out there and hit somebody in their mouth as hard as I wanted to, bro. Or me get hit as hard and like, damn, shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now I'm to the point, bro, at the age, as I'm aging, it's like I'm no less of a man because I need to cry, bro. You know what I'm saying? I go to the gym to get a lot of my frustrations out, but that shit get old too. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I done got my weight down to where I wanted to. Now I done got a goal, but now that's old. So now
what's
it's,
next?
what's next?
Yeah.
And us as men, we have to, I think we also have to stay engaged with something that's progressing. I think a lot of men, we're overachievers because that's just who we are in our nature. And overachievers, some people is money, some people is cars, some people is motorcycles, trucks, sex, women. Everybody has their own little thing that everybody gets judged for, right? But once that, I think we need a little doses of everything. You know what I mean by that is you need a little bit more balance. Like, for instance, like, because even though I played professional football and that was what I wanted to do, that shit got old too. Week 8, week 9 of just doing the same old lining up, trying to recognize the offense, play against this team, like that got old. But when it was a time when I got a chance to step away and maybe go ride my motorcycle or maybe go, I ain't seen babe all week, go her and the kids, maybe we go out and do something different just to refresh the mind. So that's where, so instead of me just trying to pour my emotions just into one thing, I'm trying to find a few different things now to pour my emotions into, so it keeps me fresh.
Yeah, that's smart.
If you understand what I'm saying, that's what I'm starting to do now. And so like, even like, I don't like where I'm at in my career. I'm ready to make a career switch. I want to go find a career that's progressing, that's not easy for others to get into, where I know I have to use my mental. And since I've been since I've been in a room with somewhat of what we call elites, of the level of thinking, I want to take that thinking and put it into a career to see what I can become. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't want no ordinary just, now it's just simple and I can really, get to the bag to take care of the family. You know what I'm saying? But I want to be in an industry where I can think, you know what I'm saying, and put forth an effort. You know what I mean? For me, that might just, you might want to be an architect. Some people might want to go back to school to be a doctor. That's what they need to, you know what I'm saying, to give them, to get that satisfaction of their growth that they're looking for. And I think that's what a lot of guys do. Because we want to do things we're not forced to do, the stuff that we're interested in is what I'm learning too.
Absolutely, man. And what I kind of took from that podcast episode, whatever you want to call it, is at the end, they kept saying we all need to do this more and we need this. Yeah. So just, having a table with 5 guys kind of just putting their lives on the table and being transparent with the world and how therapeutic it was for them when they left. It's like, we got to do this again. I need your phone number, and we just communicate. So that's the number one thing, is that guys that you trust and you know that what you say there stays there. I just think that's the biggest thing. And then also is when it came to DeVale Ellis, who was sitting next to Lou on the side, he was talking about him and his father's relationship and how that he had 2 brothers. He had a brother that was younger than him, and the fact that they came in the same household, but they live in 2 separate different lives. Though. But what I got from the most is that me said he lived with his dad, and they were just clashing like this. Especially when you got 2 grown men living in the same house, that's tough. Because I went through the same thing. I think I was, 2011, 23, 24. I had just lost my job, and then my dad wasn't working either. So I had to move back into the house. And it's like we waking up, walking on eggshells. You know what I mean? So you got 2 grown men going at it like this. And, I finally got a little temp job. He's like, I need you to pay me $40 a week, blah, 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 blah. And just got to the point where I was so frustrated. I just took the money and just threw it at his face, bro. I was like, here's your little money.
Damn, you did
why?
Absolutely.
I want to ask, why do you think that?
Did Pops fire your ass up?
Absolutely threw me out.
I'm talking about, did he bang on you?
No, he grabbed a bag and started packing my stuff up and threw me out the house.
Why would he hit your ass like Ray Lewis?
Of course, that's disrespectful. It's like an ATL threw that money at Big Boy. You threw some money, my mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew it was bad, but it's like when you have that so much build animosity and testosterone,
Yeah.
and it's been 15 years been waiting to get this stuff off my chest with you,
Yeah.
and then it just happens like a bomb just exploded.
Oh, bro.
So I kind of just compared that experience with mine with his. I know how it is when that happens.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Then the last thing I'll let y'all have it. You was talking about, or Kirk was talking about, how do you have a balance when it comes to that other woman, and the other woman somebody's career and his purpose. So it's like, how do you balance that? Because it's not going to be a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that, but before we leave,
Okay.
I want to talk about what's his name?
Whatever.
When he was talking about with his sons, When he was talking about his sons, how hard he was on his sons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he used to talk about that.
Yeah.
it's funny that they came out with this, right? Because I literally told my wife about a week ago, I just had this bone with Cairo for no reason. Like, it just developed. It's like we was just going back and forth. Like, anytime he said something, I'm like, bro, shut up, bro. Like, before I punch on you, like, but I'm like, why am I being so aggressive with a 3-year-old?
Oh, baby, Cairo.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Hey, man, that's a little baby
That's
tank
my
right
dog.
there, bro. He go hard, man. For
Yeah.
3, he go hard.
Absolutely.
He
He
said, I
stand
ain't
on
little
business.
man.
He said, I ain't little man.
Man.
He said, y'all little sisters. And that's what he called y'all. He said, Dad, I told him they little sisters. I said, bro, you 3. Why you act
I
like
own
that?
one.
But see, then I told my wife, I think it's because I can feel it, that aggression. Like, my son
reflection of
stand
you.
on business,
Yeah.
like I stand on
He a
business.
reflection
And
of
so
you.
then he even pick with me. He go to his mom and be like, see, I'm on my mommy. Like, he do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, if you don't get off my wife, dog, I think little stuff like that is just. I mean, you know what I mean? Because that's your woman, and he's like, that's your wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can just feel the masculine, the two. Even though he's 3, you could just feel it's like a masculinity beef. Like, it's just. So I had to check myself, and I was like, hold on, man. I'm supposed to be teaching this young man what to do and how to do it. I'm his first mentor.
Absolutely.
So me being extremely hard on him ain't gonna do nothing but create character issues,
Yeah.
character flaws.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be
carry
doing,
that over.
either one, you're gonna be trying to show out and you're gonna be too cocky, and you're gonna miss a lot of opportunities. Or 2, you're gonna be too cocky where can't nobody really tell you nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you do get your opportunities, but now you're super lonely. You know what I mean? You're socially awkward.
Push everybody away.
Or it's to the point where I done treated you so bad, you letting the world run over top of you. Excuse me, and you don't have any confidence at all.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is I've been taking a second, and I was like, I'm not gonna. Only time I really yell at them now is when they get disrespectful. I can't do disrespect.
Yeah.
But the little stuff, like my daughter knocked over some lemonade earlier, and I just threw my arms up, and I was like, I'm usually going off. Like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with you? Right. But my wife was like, babe, you handled that so well. I said, I don't know where that
me
came
proud
from.
of
Yeah.
us.
She was proud of me. Because I'm usually going off. I'm usually going off, and it's like, that's because I've been in those environments, though. Anytime you do something wrong, coach yelling, cussing you out, X, Y, and Z. So you naturally, I've been doing that since I was a kid, so you naturally just do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but
But you know how that makes you feel.
I think that's the only reason we get.
I stopped.
Literally.
So now when I see my dog, I dap him up. We always dap up, hug, you know what I'm saying? Kiss him on the forehead, make sure I tell him I love him. I make sure I give him over love now because it's just easier to just love my daughter.
That's so
they need that.
important,
They need that.
Bro,
Especially from
what?
a father and another man to a young man.
My pops only kissed me if he thought something was
we
hurt.
forget that.
You know what I mean? My pops probably kissed me on my forehead like 3 or 4 times, I remember. And that's because I was like in the hospital bed or something.
Like my sons, like you know how your daughters look when they cheesing, they smell
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like I get that from my sons. When I grab them, I just give them a hug.
Yeah.
They smile.
Yeah,
they
they
like
do. Yeah.
you soften them up,
Yeah.
like
Right.
you know, looking for you to tickle them and stuff. And that's one thing that
You
I
still gonna
learned.
get 2 chest shots after
Listen,
that.
listen.
Yeah, just to make sure you're ready.
Yeah, man. So I definitely get you on that. Like, stop not being too aggressive.
You don't
on
need
them,
to,
you know.
man. That's your
We
boy.
got to,
What
yeah,
I'm
the more-
learning is he's not your op. That's a part
And
of your
I ain't gonna lie,
lineage.
the only
dog.
reason my sister told me that, like, you know, you gotta allow your sons to be in their emotions, you know, because that's their own thing.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you don't want to withhold them from that.
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
for
like
sure.
tell them. But also, you know, Dwayne Wade. He one of them top basketball players. You feel me? He aggressive in the game, but how his son turned out, you know, and. No, not a bad thing.
I'm trying to figure out where you're going.
I'm trying. That's why I'm quiet. Like, okay,
Saying,
how you about to spin this?
So not just him, but it's men who have sons that, you know, their sons resorted, you know, they became who they became later in life. But it's like when they were young, the dads was so aggressive on them, and the mom was gentle, and I don't know if that did some chemical imbalance for him, or I don't know what it might have did to him. So that's something that made me like, let me step back, because I wouldn't want to push. You don't want to push your boy, you know, like in that type of direction. I don't know how to really break it down, but
I ain't gonna touch on
I
that.
know. Listen, it's
I know what you mean, though.
It's deeper, yeah, it's deep, but
Yeah, I ain't gonna touch on that one. I don't.
nah, it's deep. It's deep.
yo.
It's deep. That son off the books.
I'll say this though, kind of touching on that, since they don't want to say nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? I was watching an interview one time with Dr. Umar Johnson on the Breakfast Club. This was like one of his first interviews
He was in
that he had.
Columbus for the Ohio Black Expo. Man,
Yeah,
got
for
him
sure.
on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
interview,
yeah.
man.
That's what's up. That's
Real
what's up.
information. Go ahead.
But one of the things he had said was when young boys grow up with a lack of that male love, they kind of go out and it I don't want to call it a perversion, but it kind of turns into a perversion, and they desire it later in life. And so I kind of think that's a little bit like what you're saying, you know what I mean? Because, you know, speaking about Dwayne Wade's son, if he was desiring that love from his dad, but his dad was always hard on him later on in life,
He did
especially
something
with
like it.
culture and everything, with it being acceptable to go down that path, you may look for that love in a
Different way.
in a different way. You know?
Into just because they see the daughters get
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
So I'm working on separating that too, because my son like to do everything my daughter do, because she's older. But he's realizing now, like I said, son, we always got to dap up before we hug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Because him going to school, they wide open. What's up, bro? Hey man, y'all chest to chest, fool.
Yeah.
Back up.
Yeah.
You got to dap up first. That's always code. You know what I'm saying? But I think what you said right there, it makes a lot of sense. So I mean, me and my dad was tight, but we got tighter because my dad was an alpha and I was an alpha. You know, it came to the time where, as we got older, we were butting heads because it was like, he was trying to tell me something. I'm like, man, I ain't going for that. And he like, all right, well, what's up? Like, you know. But once we left the crib, it was totally different. But what was the other question you just asked, Art, before I tapped in on being too hard on the sons?
Yeah, I was just talking about how there's the other woman in your relationship, and that's your career and your purpose.
Yeah.
So it's basically just talking about how you have that balance between either, you know, you have your work, you have your relationship, you have your friendships, you know, you have your associates, you have your purpose. Like, how do you handle that when it comes to, you know, that other woman, which is your career?
I'm gonna be all the way honest with you, bro. My most successful moments was my most selfish moments.
facts.
Speak on that.
Facts.
Yeah, my most successful moments have been my most selfish moments. And why I say what I say is, God has ordained me in so many different ways to be successful, speaking in the lives, helping younger kids, helping adults change their lives, just being a leader. He's always put me through something so I can give the fruit away. You know what I mean? So, like, even now, me not being happy in my career where I'm at right now, this has nothing to do with owning a business. I'm talking about my everyday 9 to 5 outside of my business. The reason why I am right now is because I am trying to be balanced. Date night every week with the wife, doing this with the kids, going over here, making this, making that, shooting this, shooting that. And so now, I'm mad at myself because I feel stuck. So now, what I tell my wife is this: let's sit down and strategize, right? Who's going to do what? And what I mean by that is, both of us can't take off at the same time. Now let's be running this same business. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if we're going in careers, somebody's going to have to sit back and take the back seat until that person gets where they want to go. And now that income comes over here, you done doubled up, so now she can go or he can go to where they need to go. But there's nowhere in the world, as a couple, you're going to do that fast. Now unless y'all in the same business, and that's going to take years. Or if you got kids. Because now you got demands of other people with their own personalities that you got to tend to. That let's be real, they're not assets yet. They're liabilities, not in a negative way.
I understand.
You understand what I'm saying? So don't take it. They're not adding anything to the pot to keep growing until they get to a certain age. So they're taking, and you're grooming them to be able to participate and work for the family name.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
I love to work. If I'm not working, I'm mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be substance to that work. Like I have to be going to get something. And, you know, the other night, my daughter told her grandmother that she didn't want to watch an episode of Bluey because it made her sad. And she was like, why? She was like, because mommy don't get to spend that much time with me anymore and hold me. So as a father, I said, I'll fix that. Don't worry about it. I said, baby, I done built a foundation now.
Yes, sir.
With these babies, that they know who their daddy is. Daddy can't be in the crib every day. And I said, baby, if you want, baby, I promise you, if you let me run and we do this together, you could be that stay-at-home mom. It ain't my money. It's our money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's our money. And because guess what? With you being at this day and time, with the wife being at the crib, or if the wife make more money, it ain't no wrong with a brother that can stay at the house and handle that. It's just whoever career takes off, and as long as you're doing your part for the crib, that's all that matters at this day and time. Because the economy got us so goddamn messed up that we just can't. You know, the only way you're gonna be able to get to where you need to be, far as in a career, is if you got a career that's actually gonna pay you something, not a job that's just saying, okay, I work over here and I'm gonna make $20 an hour. Then you and your wife always gonna be in survival mode. Man. So you gotta look at what you really want to do, and it's like, how can we double the income? What do you want to do to double the income? You understand? What brings the substance to the financials so we can be able to grow that? But it's no way. Even when I play football, I won't making everything, bro. I had 2 workouts today. When I made an NFL team, bro, this is no lie, I had a full-time job. I was a full-time student at Ohio State, and I was working out at 6 in the morning and 10 at night.
It's a crazy schedule, bro.
Bro, crazy schedule. Yeah. So even now, it's been toned down, but when me and my wife first opened this juice bar, we was 20 hours a day. We ain't see them babies. So I do recommend, before you have kids,
You gotta
do what you got to do. But then again, you might not know what you want to do until you have a baby. So it's a double
your perspective of life is going to change, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, because, you know, the kids make you grow up, dog.
No, they do.
And
they turn your hustle up, too.
Man, what? And all that, you talking about some, I got time, you're like, no, I got to get this done tomorrow.
That was my takeaway from the podcast. I ain't get to throw that out there because
go ahead.
But that was my takeaway when he was talking about when you gotta take this, you know, your wife being mom to the kids this whole time while you focus on your career, and now it's time to switch. Yeah. Because she still have desire and wants to, like, and it's basically like, how do you handle that? How you allow that? That's why I was like, when you start talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to, because what's I keep forgetting my guy's name, DeVille?
DeVille Ellis.
DeVille Ellis. He talked about that. Like, he talked about, okay, his wife let him go do the movies joint.
Right.
Then when he was off, they came back and they switched. Because when they got 4 boys, I believe. Yeah. 4 boys? Mm-hmm. They got to be able to, you got to be able to do it, because this day and time, wives don't, it's some wives that want to sit at the crib, but the way society is now, women actually want to boss their life up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so I'm not going to tell my wife is a beast. I'm not about to just say, hey, just sit at the crib and just handle the babies. Yeah. Nah, we're not doing that, baby. So look, while I'm going to chase this, I need you to be working on what you want to do. So when that paper do come, because you know this is a guaranteed hit. Mm-hmm. If Kurt go do this, by year 2, year 3, we're gonna have this.
Right.
So you can quit that. We can take the money, live below our means. Just because we're making $500,000 a year, don't mean our bills got to be maxed out at $500,000.
That's it right there.
Yeah, so we go get a nice crib, not the craziest crib, but the craziest car. Get you something to get you from A to B that's good on gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got a good motor in it.
Yeah.
Then y'all double up and go hit that. Go put that over there. Go do this right here. Boom. Next thing you know, all right. That was 8-year run.
Same game plan.
Right, what?
Same game plan.
Now that's the 8-year run. You got money in stocks. You got money in real estate. You got your franchises. You doing self-help groups. You know, doing what you got to do to be able to, you know, have your stream. Y'all done wrote a book. Y'all we shooting podcasts. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff to be able to elevate you so you can get what you want. But there's no way. I think Shaquille O'Neal told his son, said, "Hey, you know you don't need basketball no more because we can go take over Reebok." When he said that, I said, "What?" I said, "What?"
And did it.
Volumes. He spoke volumes. You hear me?
He said, "Son, do you know what it take to be an NBA star?" He said, "You know how many times I missed birthdays, graduations, I was on the road doing this, I was doing that, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. You know how many high school games and stuff I missed?" Yeah. He said, now Shaq is older and he's receiving the fruits of his labor.
Yeah.
But I want to tell my son that,
Yeah.
son, you ain't got to play the game.
You don't gotta follow.
You
my
ain't got to
footsteps.
be, man,
We
you gotta
won
follow.
already.
Bro, we been won.
won.
All right, listen,
Yeah.
bro, I don't want to see, you ain't got to put no football helmet on. Let's go over and talk. Let's go over and talk to this guy about how we can set up the Jets. Let's move. Let's be the great jet company where we doing aviation management, and then we got the car rental service with it. You know, the black car to pick up the people with the security guards or
you
something
need
like that. Or let's talk about how we got the houses down there in Miami Beach, the vacation homes and they luxury plus, or the yacht service or the jet ski service. Man, we don't need all that, bro. We don't have to entertain. See, that's another thing for
That's
black
that
folks, man. We got to stop thinking the only thing we good at is entertainment. It's hella careers out here, bro. Everybody not gonna be a rapper. Everybody can't shoot the ball. Everybody can't run the football. Everybody can't tackle. Can we
But-
start promoting?
But they got to see that though. They got to visualize that. So
Yeah.
you got that kid that ain't been off of the block, and all they see is drug dealers, and they just see football players, basketball players. You got to give the opportunity to actually see it. You still got the resources.
Right.
You two are type to see it, but they got to be able to touch it.
Nah,
You gotta
because
be able
that's
to
all
talk
we.
to you.
That's how we look at it. That's
Yeah.
how we feel we can make it. We either got rap, we gotta play ball. Chicks gotta dance, or they gotta get with a dope boy. Like that's only they limited on what they see. So closed-minded, short-term vision, things like that. But like you said, I seen a dude like Kev. This was before he even got into the Jets. But he ended up getting into the Jets, like African dude, and Meek Mill was his client. Meek Mill was a client. Then he started getting French Montana,
Yeah.
everybody.
Right.
I'm like, I'm seeing bro just excel and everything like that, and it's just opening that new door.
Yeah.
And your people from your community, that's going to enhance their vision.
Yeah.
Once you enhance your vision, you're going to enhance your living. I think that's important.
That's
But it was a thing that, it was a time where, being busy, I told Babe, I couldn't prioritize her. My purpose had to come first because that's what's going to fulfill everything for y'all. And, she ain't take it the right way. She's like, you putting me second. And, I don't know if it's how I said it, or if it's just woman, they want to be your number one priority. But as
She
men,
always number
like
one.
you saying,
That's why you're going to do what you're going to do.
as men, yeah, you gotta put your purpose first. That's the only thing that's gonna get you and your family where y'all want to be, and that's that sacrifice that we talked about. Somebody in the family gotta make that sacrifice to create the foundation, the legacy that's going to basically have that ripple effect. So that's important that we don't see that no more. But I feel like that's important nowadays that men, you gotta know somebody gotta make the sacrifice.
Right.
Whether it's you, your wife, somebody gotta do it. You're gonna miss that time with the kids, you're gonna miss this, you're gonna miss that, but it's for a reason.
Yeah.
But you got to have that communication with your child because, when it comes to the father, like I was always using my dad's example, of course. He was always working 6 days a week, second shift, working at the Honda plant in Marysville for 15 years. So just imagine, when I'm walking in from school at 3 o'clock, he's walking out the house.
Yeah.
That's every day. So only time I see my dad is in passing.
Yeah.
So it's like I ain't seen him so much. I'm gonna wait till 2:15 in the morning when I hear that garage open up, knowing that he's home. So it's like at that age, I don't realize, okay, this guy got us out the trenches, and now we're the only black family in this whole white neighborhood. So for him to do that and to see where he put me in the nicest schools, like I had a great childhood, and I had to thank him for that. But realizing as a kid, I'm like, man, my dad ain't never home. He only came to one of my football games. My senior year, he came through, a couple games, whatever. He didn't come to none of my basketball games, none of my baseball games. He was never there. But I realize now, looking at it, he set us up great. But he wouldn't be able to do that if he was staying at home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I wish he would have communicated that with me to let me understand why he was never there. Because that became a crutch for me my teenage years and my 20 years. Like, my dad was never there. And I always just use that as an example because I was always getting in trouble and stuff. Well, my dad ain't home. He can't show me blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Now I realized what he was doing was giving me a better life. But as long as they communicate that with your son or with your daughter, why I'm not home, I think we'd be better off.
But I was gonna ask you, you think if he did, you would have understood it then, or you would have still looked at it as you choose, you got a choice, because we think it's selfishly young, so we like, you choosing to do that, you ain't got to do that, but we say
You gotta do it.
If we would have had that conversation, I believe my outlook at him and that life would have been different. Just make the attempt to have that conversation and say, hey, I understand I didn't make it to the game. This is why. I understand I couldn't make it to your football banquet. This is why. You know what I mean? Because then it's like I'm just assuming things. And that's why I'm just arguing with my mom all the time. But, that's her husband. He's still number one to her. I'm second in the household. So I know my husband doing X, Y, and Z. I've known him since 1981.
Yeah.
But with me, it's like my dad is never here. And now I'm realizing that as a man growing up, all I see is, okay, a man's supposed to work all the time, make the money, get the food, give his last dollar. I'm going to do that. And then I started doing that in my 20s, going back to you said that when it comes to these women, you can't be their daddies. For some reason, I was always getting with girls whose dad was never in the picture. And then here I come. It's like they expect me to be their father, also their boyfriends. I'm wearing two hats in the relationship. So I'm taking care of you, and I'm taking care of your sibling, I'm taking care of your mama. I'm 21 years old. I ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have realized, everybody had a different upbringing when it comes to their fathers. So this mine was that he was always working in their home. So I'm like, well, I guess I have to do the same thing. I'm never going to be home. I'm always going to be working. So
one thing, he probably wanted a clear mind, So you got to think, if he did tell you, you showed disappointment, he got to carry that into work. How he last left.
It's so much different seeing it now versus back then. 'Cause now I understand exactly what you're saying now, but back then you couldn't tell me shit about that.
Right.
That nigga ain't home. Where he at?
I want my dad and I want him now.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't even got to say nothing to me. I just know you're underneath the same roof as I am.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to say nothing to me. So, but yeah, man. Well, I guess I had one more question in regards to that. So, of course, we deal with the day-to-day struggles in regards to, balancing our careers, navigating our emotions, being accepted by society. What is one thing that you would like to share with women that they need to know about what a black man goes through every day, so they can kind of have a better understanding when it comes to how we father, how we work, how we go through day-to-day being a man? What are some of the mental struggles that we struggle with that they just seem they can't understand? And we kind of break it down to them right here on this podcast.
I feel that women can understand that when a man isn't in a position that he wants to be in for y'all and basically giving y'all the world that he desires for y'all, he might shut down, he might be silenced because he's in his thoughts. He's constantly collected his thoughts, and at the same time when he see y'all, sometimes he feel bad because he like, y'all deserve so much more, and that's what he want for y'all. And when y'all on him about not really communicating with you sufficiently how you like, or if he's over occupying himself with other things to keep himself busy rather than being idle, you have to understand that space is keeping him grounded in a sense that he's not giving up on himself or giving up on y'all. And sometimes a man needs distance, just how when y'all are in those moods where y'all don't want to be bothered, men enter that same space. And it's something that just how y'all want us to respect y'all's, y'all gotta respect that man's and allow him to have that time to himself so he can put things back together, so he can come back with that smile, you feel me, instead of coming in with that aggression, that anger, you know, or that short, you know, communication where he's being short with you or he's being just hard on the kids for no reason over every little thing. So I just say, anytime your man enter that space, just give him that space. Always let her reassure him that it's gonna be fine. You got this, babe. And, you know, just have faith in him, you know. Men don't want to hear negativity. He don't want to hear you being doubtful. And, you know, love and respect and appreciation go a long way. Something my woman does, she always, you know, tell my kids, say, thank you, daddy. Daddy did this, daddy did that. And she always sends them to me to say thank you, to show their appreciation, because we get overlooked. It's always mom, because she's the one's present most. So it look like she carrying all the weight and she's doing this. But behind closed doors, we matter. We carry a lot of weight and we serve a purpose too. So that's just my advice.
Well said, brother.
What you got, Honorable? You been quiet,
Yeah,
bro.
I've been chilling.
Man,
I've
you
been
be
telling
acting like the
everything.
young bull on the show.
Tap in, dog.
You be acting like the young. Yeah, he be on the. He's just like, I'm gonna bring the equipment. Be quiet.
I'm telling you. Hey, man.
I'm gonna write this note. So I'm gonna go home and try this.
I'm telling you. Man, bro, y'all done said so many great things, man, and there's so many things that that I could say, but I'll say this, man, kind of touching on, you know, what Art has said about his dad. I think sometimes, you know, because he spoke about his relationship with his dad as a kid, and, you know, looking for that explanation of why, right? But sometimes women fall into that same position, not understanding that as a man is going out and trying to achieve his purpose, going out, putting in the work every day, he may not be explaining every single nuanced detail to you, but he's still going out to achieve those goals for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are lower on the list of priorities. It's just sometimes you have to go and accomplish certain goals in order to put everybody in a better position. And so I think just having patience with a man, and I think above all else, because I've dealt with this myself, if you find yourself in a position where you are questioning where you fall in that man's list of priorities, just ask. You know, you would be surprised how willing a man would be in reassuring you and explaining to you exactly what's going on in his head if you would just come to the table and ask him, instead of assuming or starting to treat him differently because you don't know what's going on. Just ask those questions, man. And yeah, that would be my advice, bro.
I think it's the little things for me, dog. Just to checking in. Hey, did you eat? What can I do for you today? You know, and like you said, giving that safe space. I mean, me and my wife talk so much, man. At first, we used to be like two ships passing in the night, bro. And then I'm like, well, dang. I always relate it to sports because that's been the majority of my life. Like, I can't. If I'm not talking to my teammate, how the hell I think we supposed to be successful? You know what I'm saying? Like,
For sure.
And I call it comprehensive communication. You can't talk at each other. You know what I mean? You have to sit down and have that conversation about, hey, baby, what do you want this to look like? And then you have to hold each other accountable to that, to be able to have that support on both sides that you need. That if he going to do this, it shouldn't even be a question. That's the way I look at it, because we didn't talked about it. It's not even a question. Hey, babe, you haven't done this, that in a while. Well, baby, remember we talked about X, Y, and Z. This is why, but I'm still putting you here because we talked about it. This is what's going to take. This is the sacrifice that we're going to need. So understand that when you're dealing with a man that's ambitious, you're not going to always be number one. But how you can make yourself feel like number one is by those communication things and talking to him. Even if you know he done worked all day, you got to be ahead of him now. It can't be the other way around. He can't think for what's going on because now he's thinking about that project that he told you he was going to get through to get you through. And you can say, hey, baby, look, tonight, I know you got 30 minutes, but instead of that 30 minutes, you go downstairs and sit by yourself. Can I just lay on your chest? You know what I'm saying? Because now you like, man, and it's just simple things, man. Men don't need a lot.
Exactly.
We just want to know
simple people.
We just want to know that we loved. We want to be appreciated. We want you to hang from the top rope when you can, and feed me.
Yes, sir. Horizontal activity.
Horizontal activity. And what do you say? Talk to him crazy.
Hey, bro. I'm
That's it.
seriously. The only thing that we need for me is just one thing is just keep my home peaceful. Because I
Peace
feel
is
that
important.
everything outside the home is
vital.
hectic.
Yes.
There's a
vital.
lot of stuff we have to face at the job, in the community, in the society. But when we come home, we just want to just take off the veil and just be vulnerable, be at peace. I want to be loved. I want to be appreciated. Because even like when I walk in the house, you know, I told my wife, I was like, if I walk in, if you're there, I want you to approach me and give me a hug.
Kiss me.
You know what I mean? It's
Send
like
me
it
your
is.
Calm me down.
You know what I mean? It literally decompresses me. It lets me know like it's going to be okay. The day is over with. You're safe. So I had to communicate with her because at first it wasn't happening because she would walk in, I'll do it all the time. It's just a natural thing. I was like, I need that too. So I think just having, being able to be two adults and have mature conversations about how we feel, that's a big thing for me. And not biting your tongue, even though I think it might hurt my feelings. It still needs to be said at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And even if we debate or we argue, I make sure that it is settled before we go to sleep. So I'm not waking up to a new day facing yesterday's problems.
I like that.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all about peace. It's all about love. It's just all about the simplicity. I don't need a lot. If I don't feel like talking, just give me that space and not to talk. Because eventually I'll be ready to talk to you eventually.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that she's just an open vessel. I'm glad that she's my peace and then allows me to be the man in the relationship.
All right, I want to add one thing. Just because I know it's a lot of women that's dealing with men that they feel that they don't understand or the men don't get it. The thing about loving a man is that a lot of men don't know how to love correctly, and a lot of women actually know how to love correctly. And the thing is that where he lack is where you supposed to communicate and teach him. It's okay. A lot of women say, I ain't got time to be teaching.
ain't teaching no
No,
man.
if you love this man, teach that man, talk to him, communicate, show him how you want to be loved, because what he getting, he know what he getting from you, and what he giving, he don't know that that's not enough. And I feel that y'all gotta, like he said, you know, being able to openly communicate, have those uncomfortable conversations, because what we see, what we talk, and how we think is how we operate. And if you can't sit down and talk to a man that do some fine tuning to help him become that potential man that you see in him, then it'll never happen. So don't lose hope. And as fellas, you know, understand that your woman's going to change over time, and you can't expect her to be the same woman that you got with in the beginning. You got to understand that she's going to evolve. Her mindset is going to change. She's a nurturer. She's going to mature. And it's come in phases, and it's just, you know, it's mental, it's emotional, it's physical. All of that is going to happen, and you got to adapt to certain changes. You got to still embrace, love her the same way. And if it's something that, like I said, them uncomfortable conversations, if you feel she's slacking off, you help get her back on track so she can tighten up her routine, so she can, because you let her slip from herself, she's going to become uncomfortable, insecure, you feel me? And her mind going to be rest. It's like it's just gonna always be in her thoughts and stuff. She gonna feel like she's not good enough for you. That's because you just sit back and watch her become a version of herself that she never knew. So I just say y'all both just communicate, man. Communication is key. I'm getting better thanks to my brothers, of course, you know. So
Yes, sir.
Hey, boy, you ain't no less of a man.
yeah.
Because you going home to talk to your partner.
Absolutely not.
Man, you ain't never gonna be no less of a man. That is your partner. That is your helpmate. She need to know what's going on with you. And I'm
Always.
telling you, the more that you communicate, the more you understand, the more you tell her you love her, the softer she becomes, the more she's embracing you. The hugs are warm, man. Man, my wife would just hold me. I'd be like, damn. I'd be so aggressive sometimes, just naturally, and wifey could just, you acting too aggressive. I'm like, get out of here with that. Now I'm limp. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
They like they be massaging their neck and their baby punch. I'm like, ow, ow. I was like, I'm really touching you. What you mean now?
You're too strong.
Too strong.
Big manly hands. Yeah, but man, I think, man, shoot. Does that conclude the episode, baby? I was dropping some gems
That's a
today.
good 90-minute joint.
Club,
Man,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Anybody Anybody want to close us out, bro? Close out.
What you act like?
I start.
GP, who you listening?
Hey man, it's been another episode, man. We got two in the can so far. Many more to come.
Yeah.
You know, great topics, great advice from these brothers, man. I'm looking forward to future episodes. I think this is gonna be something. It's gonna be something special, man.
Yeah.
I can feel it for sure. You know what I mean? And what we say, the fold.
The fold with the fold.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
fold, man. Yeah, for sure.
man.
So yeah, man, I'm Khalid Salam, man, and it's been another episode of The Fold.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Oh, hey, wait.
Hey, man, I gotta get home, man. I've been
sure.
on preheat.
Yeah. Hey, be vulnerable, man. And you'll be good to go.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
God, family, respect.
follows up, bro. Them follows up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. Yeah, for sure.